It's no secret that a lot of men struggle to maintain attraction with women. If you are one of these men, there is something you need to realize, a realization that completely transformed my interactions with girls. At the time, I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but it always seemed to happen right before they would lose interest. I realized over time that I was being tested, and whether or not I was being chosen over another guy was being determined precisely by how I handled these tests. Now, one of the most fundamental aspects of attraction between men and women is the need for girls to test the strength, confidence, or whatever you want to call it, of men they are interested in. But they are not just testing for strength and confidence. There are also other things. 9 times out of 10, these tests occur during the initial stages of an interaction, or when you first meet a girl. How you handle these tests is incredibly important and will greatly influence whether or not she develops an attraction for you. With that said, we will go over 5 sneaky tactics girls use to test men they are interested in. Number 1. Insulting you. One of the fastest ways to get someone to cave, whether they are male or female, is to simply insult them. In fact, a girl can find out almost instantly if a man has low or high self-esteem based on how he reacts to an insult. The purpose of an insult is to simply get a reaction out of you. It's the way that you react that subcommunicates to the girl whether or not you have high or low self-esteem, or whether or not you fail to pass the test. Now, typically how it works is that men who have low self-esteem will fail the test because they will become angry, resentful, or cold after being insulted. On the surface, it might just feel like she's insulting you, but what she's really doing is testing you to see how you handle validation. If a girl insults you and you get really angry or react in some overly defensive or negative way, what you're unknowingly subcommunicating to her is that you care too much about what she thinks about you, and this is always going to be a recipe for disaster. Now, all the girls out there who have a high level of self-esteem want to pick a man who also has a high level of self-esteem. And if you think too highly of her opinion about you, this is going to manifest through anger or through defensiveness when you get tested with an insult. Imagine you're with a girl and several other guys, and all the other guys are able to bench a certain amount of weight. But when it's your turn, you can't. And the girl insults you by making a joke about how you're too weak to lift the weight. If you were to get mad and defensive after being flung this insult, you would fail this test. But if you played it cool and made a joke about the insult, or if you're able to show indifference in some other way, then you would pass the test. Number 2. Playing hard to get. One of the sneakiest ways girls test men is by playing hard to get or by pulling away. A long time ago, I was messaging a girl on Facebook, and she was actually the one who started messaging me. When I was first talking to her, she was showing lots of interest and flirting with me. And then all of a sudden, she started messaging me less and less. What was happening here was that she was pulling away, and the main purpose of this test was not to test my level of self-esteem or my level of confidence, but to find out how invested I was in her. Typically, desperate men act in desperate ways. So if a girl shows interest in them and then pulls away suddenly, they will react by over-pursuing the girl, which manifests in behaviors like aggressively texting her back on Facebook or calling her phone way too many times. In other words, she wants to see if when she pulls away, you will chase after her. And if you're a man with any sort of masculine resolve, then you know that something we never do is chase girls. If a girl pulls away and you pursue her, you're basically subcommunicating to her that you're a low-value man who has no other options and nothing else going on in your life that keeps you busy enough to not chase after her. Passing this test is simple. When a girl pulls away, whether it's in a DM or in real life, all that you have to do is never chase after her. Girls are like boomerangs. Once they leave your hands, they might seem like they're pulling further and further away, but as long as you don't chase after them, they will eventually come right back to you. Number 3. Going cold. One of the sneakiest ways that girls test a guy is by going cold when he least expects it. I remember a girl that I used to like. One minute she was acting like I was the greatest thing she had ever laid eyes on, and another minute, her mood changed almost instantly, and she went from being warm, talkative, and kind, to basically acting like I ate her last chicken wing. Logically, while I didn't do anything to cause her change in mood, the reason she went cold on me was to see if it had any impact on me. Here is the reality. If a girl goes cold on you, she is once again testing you to see how highly you hold her opinion of you. Men who are needy and desperate tend to hold the opinions of others far above their own. So if by going cold she is able to trigger some sort of negative reaction within you, What this tells her is that you think very highly of her opinion. And if something as simple as a girl suddenly going cold on you has the power to shift your entire frame or to expose your mental weakness, then how could you possibly handle all of the difficult things that men must face in life? In most cases, when a girl goes cold on a guy who is considered low value, he will react in a negative way instead of shrugging it off and demonstrating that nothing that she says or does really has much of an impact on him either way. If you pass this test, you will be placed into the high-value, high self-esteem category of men, which is exactly where you want to be. And if you fail this test, then you already know what category you're going to be placed in. Number 4. Making you jealous. The jealousy test is by far one of the most difficult tests for men to pass. But at the same time, it is also one of the most important tests that you can pass. Imagine there is a girl that you like, and when you're alone with her, she acts warm towards you, and even flirts with you quite often. But whenever the two of you are around other men, she appears to be flirting with them and acts as if you are nowhere near as important as when you are alone with her. Don't be fooled. Girls know exactly what they are doing, and they are highly aware of everything that is said, why it is said, and the massive undertone of things that are going on during any given situation. What usually happens with this type of test is that a girl likes you, but in order to test your emotional strength, she will stir up some jealousy within you by acting overly nice or even borderline flirtatious towards other men. When testing you with jealousy, girls will watch you closely to see if you get triggered, and if she succeeds in doing this and you get emotional, you will fail the test. However, do not misunderstand it. This doesn't mean that it's acceptable for a girl you're seeing to engage in flirtatious activities with other men. Unlike most other tests, this is not a test you handle by being indifferent, but at the same time, you don't want to handle it in a way where you come across as being needy, insecure, or emotionally weak. Remain calm, be confident, and let her know that you don't commit to girls who think it's okay to flirt with other men while actively seeking a relationship with you. When doing this, you have to do it in a self-assured and secure way. You have to believe you're her superior and she's the one making the mistake of flirting with other guys. Let it be known that you could easily attract another woman if you wanted to, but because you're such a nice guy, you are going to give her a second chance. Doing this will not only make her respect you, but it will make her like you even more. Why? Because it shows that you have standards and care about her while demonstrating higher value by not being emotional and letting her know you have options. If she loves you and wants to be with you, she will begin to adjust her behavior so she doesn't lose you. However, if she doesn't stop, this means she doesn't take you seriously, doesn't respect you, and won't feel bad if she cheats on you. And if that's the case, then you must end things with her. Number 5. Getting you to betray your own values. This is one of the sneakiest yet most crucial tests you should be aware of. One of the traits commonly associated with men is our integrity. If a man says he's going to do something, he is expected to be a man of his word and follow through with it. This principle extends to our convictions as well. Imagine you have a friend who asserts that it is never morally right to flirt with another man's girlfriend, especially if that man is one of his close friends. As fellow men, we should be able to place our trust in his word and beliefs regarding this matter. Now, what if during his interactions with your girlfriend, you observe him engaging in flirtatious behavior? This would most likely cause you to lose a significant amount of respect for him because he failed to uphold his principles. If a man cannot keep his word, then he cannot be trusted. The issue here isn't just that he is flirting with her. It's that you know he supposedly believes it is wrong to do this, yet he did it anyway. Remaining true to oneself and staying loyal to one's values and principles no matter what is an incredibly important and attractive trait to possess. Girls can instinctively sense when a man isn't living up to his word, just as you wouldn't be able to trust a friend after catching them in such behavior. A woman simply cannot trust a man who can be easily swayed in any direction she desires. As men, we are expected to be steadfast and unyielding, much like rocks, displaying solidity and not being easily influenced. Whether we acknowledge it or not, women are constantly attentive to factors such as our values and commitments, particularly the promises we make about things we claim we will never do. The more they succeed in persuading us to compromise our values or identity just to please them, the more respect and attraction they will lose for us each time we do so. Imagine telling a girl that due to your values, you will never eat at Chipotle. Then one day, while you're trying to decide where to eat, she attempts to persuade you to try Chipotle. During this interaction, she might frame it as you being selfish, or she might suggest that you never want to do anything she suggests. all to conceal her actual thoughts on the matter. Her true intention is to test whether you will uphold your word and remain true to your values and beliefs, which include not eating at Chipotle. Regardless of what she says or does, even if she complains or says hurtful things, if you stay true to yourself and your commitments, you will pass this test. However, if you give in or compromise your values, standards, or beliefs just to appease her, you will fail this test. So there you have it. 5 sneaky tactics girls use to test men they are interested in. Learning how to handle these situations can help you develop into a more attractive and valuable man overall. If this video was helpful, don't forget to hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next video.